So we're back, and today on Trade Talks, we're going to talk to contractors and let you know an area that maybe you're not aware of where you could be saving some money. This was Jay's idea, and I think it's a really good idea. Why don't you walk us through this?
So here in Southwest Florida, and I'm sure many other parts of the country, there are certain restrictions and deadlines that are imposed on the builders and by the builders to their subcontractors. So for example, we have high-rise work here where November 1st, there's no more work in the high-rises. So what's that mean? Well, the builders are on a tight deadline.
And there's no work there, just for context, because it's very seasonal down here. So from November to April, you have the most amount of population, snowbirds come down, and they just don't want the noise in their building. For what, like it or not, those are the rules in most of the high rises. So there's a hard deadline on these projects.
Right.
Yeah.
So those deadlines are, again, those are imposed on the contractor, who then imposes them on the subcontractor as well. And so when we have a scheduled time and there are other trades that have not followed through, and it causes us to arrive and not be able to accomplish what we're there to accomplish, that has a giant snowball effect and a huge effect on us, because now this builder, because they're on such a tight deadline, is going to want to reschedule right away. Well, the problem is we have 25 other builders that have the same deadline and a very tight schedule on our end, because we have to follow these same.
And you've already scheduled out the next 3 weeks every day.
Right.
So where the fuck, how are we going to do that?
Where does it put you?
Yeah.
So in this case, they're either not going to get it done or they're going to be fucking paying. And we don't want to do that because we want to build relationships. We don't, but at the same time, we need to figure out a way to get it done.
I just want to hold on for a sec. So everybody understands, if there's a hard deadline and the builder has us show up and wants, we go and measure and they want the installers there on September 20th, and we confirm it and we get there September 20th and the job site foreman goes, I forgot, yeah, it's not ready for you. Come back next week. The problem with that is you're touching the glass more than once, so you run the risk of breaking it, which is still in our possession. We didn't get in business to do that.
Right.
Two is that half a day there, loading the truck, going there, unloading it, then loading it back up, bringing it up, brought in zero revenue. It cost us money plus potential liability because you got to drive there and back. So there's run the risk of accidents happening. And then what could they have installed in that half a day time frame? Half a wine cellar, 30 grand. I take it as stealing when someone does like that. When a builder does that to me, or it's happened in the past, I'm irate because they literally taken money off the table from us and have zero regard for the business that we're trying to operate.
Also makes you less likely to want to help.
I could argue that me personally, I'm not going to speak for you, but me personally, I'm not going to feel better about that situation until I fucking get even. And even for me is I want to inflict more pain on that person than they did. So I might swallow that pill, doesn't taste too good, but I'm going to pretend I love it. And on the next job, they're going to get it. And I'll make sure of it. I'll wait till the last second. I will do things that I probably shouldn't be doing. I'm probably going to get heat from mom and dad over this, but I think that's a human nature aspect that's almost unavoidable in anybody.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah. Wasn't there that guy that won the Nobel Prize, I believe in the 90s, 92, maybe Daniel Kahneman, that did a study that said, if $100 just fell out of the sky right now next to you, and you were the only one in here, and it just fell out of the sky and you picked it up, that feeling you would get from that found money pales in comparison to if somebody reached in your pocket and stole 100. They said that feeling is 5 times greater than the found money one. And the only way that you end up feeling better about that situation is when you get even. And then it's just a death spiral to the bottom. Because once you get even, now I'm going to feel like you did me dirty. I'm going to want to get even. And it's just going back and forth. And this all stemmed from a lack of communication on the contractor's side.
That's right. That destroys a relationship.
Destroys it.
Many of the things we've learned in business over the years have been evolutionary. As we've grown, we've learned along the way. Communication is the one thing we've learned recently that's been revolutionary.
Ooh, that's good.
It's changed the way we conduct business.
Yeah.
And it's made things better all around. And to all you contractors out there, communication would have been the key here. We know things happen. We know you have to rely on several other trades and things, and you also have this deadline to be held to. Communication would have taken care of that.
Now, that said, it's happened to us enough now that we don't want to be in that situation because we know it's just a death spiral from that point on. So we try our best to mitigate those opportunities ahead of schedule by putting processes in place to help double check that. However, everybody's problems, their biggest problem. We have a lot of things going on too, and sometimes one or two of these can slip through the cracks, and those are usually the ones that end up biting in the ass. But if you're a contractor and you have project managers that are in charge of scheduling, and you're wondering why you're getting a spike from some of your subcontractors, before you go start yelling at subcontractors, you might want to look into the scheduling with the project manager and the subs, because if that project manager has done the subcontractor dirty 1, 2, maybe even 3 times, you can rest assured that they're not going to send you a bill for it directly, but you're paying for it. Oh, you're going to pay. It's human nature. There's somebody won a Nobel Prize on this. I think it's called prospect theory. They're not going to feel better about getting screwed from you until they get even with you. Yeah, I think that's something they should be aware of. They probably save a lot of money. I mean, let's just think over the years, how many times you priced a proposal, not out of, oh, this is going to be a fun job, this is going to be collaborative, I love working for this, plans are nice, communication's nice. That price is always good for everybody. Or you're doing a proposal for somebody where you know the last 2 jobs, you made 5 different trips that were completely unnecessary because of a lack of awareness on the contractor side, and it cost you a lot of money and time. You're not going to be in the same mindset of pricing out that job like you were on the first one. You're going to want it might as well be in blood. Yeah. Like you're going to want to take their head off.
It's you're foreseeing the prospect of a problem. It's just like everybody hates insurance companies, right? Insurance companies have 0 tangible product. So how do they price it? Well, they price it on determining how they can make money without getting fucked. Because last year they got hit by a hurricane and they had to pay out billions and billions of dollars. Well, guess what? This year, you're paying twice as much for your insurance because they didn't plan for that last year.
It's interesting that you say that. They don't have anything. You don't really get, you're supposed to get peace of mind. But anybody who's had to go through an insurance claim knows peace of mind, like they destroy your mind. Right. I sometimes just assume not even get the money because I don't want to go through all the hoops and hurdles to get my claim. So it's like I just pay to eventually be annoyed. I will say though, the car situation, the cars through the hurricane, the car insurance was actually really good. The homeowners insurance, not so good. Wasn't happy with that.
Sounds like you don't have the right partner.
Possibility. But how do you find out the right partner until, like finding out if you have the right partner with an insurance company almost can't be proven until you need it. And when you buy insurance, you hope that you never need it, which is a really weird thing. I'm going to pay for something I hope I never have to use.
See, isn't that an interesting thing? Like, they have 0 tangible products. So how do you don't?
Yeah, it's weird. It's supposed to be peace of mind.
How do they determine the cost of goods sold?
It's got to be on potential risk. And so now the market maker for insurance is judging what potential risk, like where in the Matrix showed a storm coming, last year that was going to basically eviscerate our area.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. That's a pretty heady conversation.
Yeah.
By the way, I hope everybody, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that alert button. We're really anxious to get to the 1,000 followers. It's going to supposedly unlock a bunch of other doors that we will be able to use in our advantage to help build a bigger business. So I'm looking forward to it.
So something that we should all be aware of is fraud.
Ooh.
Why am I talking about fraud? Last year, the Federal Trade Commission said that there was $9 billion that consumers lost due to fraud. It was a 150% spike over the 2 previous years.
Oh, okay. Where's this going? AI?
Why do you say that?
Well, he says that.
You know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Like we talked, evolution, there's always been crooks out there, always. From the beginning of time. Usually the biggest spike of those crooks come when there's the newest way to steal from people. So what's the biggest, newest thing right now? AI.
Yeah, that's right.
Before that was the computers. How many times, I love my mother to death, but how many times has my mother clicked on a link in the beginning, before she was really in tune to this, that, it says, hey, click here to make sure that your bank fraud wasn't done, and boom, before you know it, our network crashed. Like that was big then. And they got good at that. They were copying emails and it looked like legitimate emails. Now is that what it is? It's the AI?
Yeah. So remember when we were kids and we'd make prank phone calls?
Yeah.
We would pretend
boys.
Pretend to be someone else.
The
right?
jerky boys.
Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I actually got in trouble at school. I'll never forget this. I got in trouble and I was supposed to have a Saturday detention. Catholic school, and I called the principal and tried to pretend I was my mother.
Come on.
And said that I was sick. So that backfired real easy. I wish I had this technology.
Okay, who called you? Your mother or the principal? Was like...
Well, the principal eventually got a hold of my mother after calling several times, and I hung up and then unplugged the phone.
Were you scared?
I was a good kid.
Were you going to get your ass kicked?
Yeah. Yeah, that's an understatement.
That's
So
hilarious.
anyhow, I wish we had this technology back then. However, there's a new scam going around with AI voice recognition. So what's happening is like you and I right here, we're talking, and they only require about 20 seconds of someone talking, and they can generate your voice. So now they're taking this voice and they're preying on people, especially the elderly, and maybe pretending to be someone's grandson. Hey, grandpa, I'm in jail. I need some bail money, or I'm hurt. I need money, whatever it may be. And they're listening and they're really thinking,
Holy
this
shit.
this is my little Johnny's on the other end of the phone. And it's not, it's some fucking computer in India.
I could see where that could be a massive business. You know, let's face it, the fraud
Absolutely.
is a business, you know, and the commodity is, you know, all the people that are, I don't want to say naive because that's not fair. I feel like you and I would pick up on that. You know,
I hope.
Yeah.
It just depends how the technology evolves.
Well, and it's going to evolve fast. But we've said this before, like how much can the AI really use the inflections and the proper deference? Like, because a grandfather, hopefully, has got a good relationship with his grandson to the point where he understands how he or she is saying something based on the context of what they're talking about. And if your gut, I would say in a scenario like this, to any of my family members or anybody who's fucking listening to this, if your gut instinct is telling you something doesn't seem right here, I'm here to tell you it's right. I've never heard one person say I shouldn't have listened to my gut. Everybody always says I should have fucking listened to my gut. Damn it. And I hope, just like you, that you would hear or feel like something doesn't seem right here.
Like maybe the conversation starts with, hello, dear sir.
Yeah, hello, dear sir. Are you back from holiday? And like, we don't talk that way.
Yeah.
I guess if your stomach feels like something's bad's going on, you should dig further into that conversation before you just hang up and give a credit card number or anything.
Right.
It's so uncommon. Like how many times you pick up the phone and just give your credit card to a family member?
Or maybe it's, hey, let me call you right back.
Let me call you right back. Yeah. That's a good idea.
But these are things that people, again, especially the elderly, should be aware of because they're being targeted the most.
Yeah, elderly. I mean, let's face it. We all are consuming so much information at a rapid pace, more than we've ever done before. Plus, we have our jobs. Some of us have kids. Some of us single parent. Like, there's a lot going on. And there's so much around us to consume our time. Sometimes you can have a tendency to let your guard down.
Yeah. And
again, everything comes down to timing. If that phone call comes in when you're not really paying attention, but you hear just enough to think, holy shit, this is probably really a thing here. I want this thing to go away. Here's my credit card. Fix it. I can see where that could be. I don't like that.
No.
I don't know how you stop that. And again, I'm not for shutting the AI thing down. Again, if they shut it down for all of us, I'm fine with it. I can live without it. But I always know that there's people have been stealing since the beginning of time. So they're always going to be stealing. The means in which they do that has evolved over the years with technology and all the different mediums for them to do that. So I don't think it's ever going to stop. That said, you know, you need to be aware. I did use AI for a couple of profile picture headshots recently. I needed a couple headshots for National Gun Association, and my hair wasn't done. There was no one here to shoot the shots for me. So I put it into AI, and it actually came out pretty nice. And they don't know that yet. So when I get there, I'm anxious to, see what people say. Well, they do now that the headshots are done from AI, and it's pretty cool.
They'll probably realize when they see there's no gray in them either.
No, it did a tasteful amount, and it actually makes it look really good. Yeah, I'm going to say, I look hot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you should try it.
I'm going to look like, what am I going to look like? Telly Savalas? You're like, look at my AI shot. I look like Alan Thicke, and you look like fucking Telly Savalas.
You can make yourself look like anything you want. It'll take the features of your face. You want to look like a 70s porn star? You can. You want to look like...
I don't need AI for that.
A schoolgirl that'll do that. You can turn yourself into anything you want. It's pretty cool.
It's unreal.
Yeah. See what you look like when you're 8 years old. Oh, man, that's funny.
But this stuff we're talking about, I mean, the best way to combat it is to be aware of it. We always talk about this. We always talk about being aware.
I love how you say that. That's probably our word of the year, awareness. Awareness centers us. So,
I got to tell you about this.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I have spoken about it. I don't know if you've seen this. This is a few weeks ago now, but this is a major lesson in being aware.
Oh.
So there's a Major League Baseball player you probably heard of, Miguel Cabrera,
mm-hmm.
Who just retired. And he's been in the league for damn near 20 years. I'm not sure the the exact
Yeah, baby face.
number. So he was going to all the stadium. Every time he went to a stadium, that it was his last time there, they were doing the retirement tour thing, kind of like they did with Derek Jeter. And,
They don't do it for everybody, but they do it for people who are kind of like, franchise players.
Yes. Yeah. Cabrera was the face of the Detroit Tigers for years. And before that, he won a World Series with the Marlins.
That's right.
So he's going to all these different stadiums. And, for example, he went to Yankee Stadium and the Yankees gave him, it was like $10,000 towards his foundation and like this custom painting. And then,
I saw that.
Another team gave him some crazy custom job.
Memorabilia from that city too.
Yeah, and I really, and I'm gonna kind of do this because I just thought of this and I don't want to forget who it was and misspeak, but it was a team.
Yeah, so just to add some context, so a lot of these MLB players, if they've been franchise players at the end of their career when they finally retire, like Derek Jeter, when they go through the league during that last season, and it's the last time they play in that ballpark, that stadium and organization presents, Derek Jeter. I don't know why I keep saying his name because I'm a Red Sox fan.
No, you
I do like Derek Jeter. I have a lot of respect for Derek Jeter. I'm a Red Sox fan. I fucking hate the Yankees.
You wanted to put your keys in his basket.
I never want to get a basket from Derek Jeter. But that's the kind of a thing that they do, kind of a nice send off. That's cool.
Yeah. So again, $10,000 to your foundation, a nice custom painting, and then he goes to Oakland.
That was Oakland.
He goes to Oakland, and the Oakland A's. Somebody in the organization thought it was a good idea to present Mr. Cabrera with a $80 bottle of Camus wine.
Oh, because of the vineyards out in that area, probably.
Yeah,
it's close to that.
Maybe had the whole team sign it. Nice gesture. If it was like you or me giving one another. I mean, this is a Major League Baseball team, but the worst part about this is, we know Cabrera was in the major leagues for, again, I believe 20 years.
Yeah.
The last 4 or 5 of which he was a fucking recovering alcoholic.
No way.
Yes.
So he battled with alcoholism and he's been sober for 4 or 5 years. Yep. And so as a celebration to playing in Oakland, somebody said, here, let's give him alcohol.
Yes.
That is massively being unaware. Wow. How come nobody's really talked about that?
It's been around here and there.
That's stupid.
But yeah, it's...
alcohol is like the only drug that you have to defend that you don't take. Meaning, like, I don't drink. And I can't tell you how many functionings I go to where, it's usually when it's towards the tail end of the function and people have had a little too many. And they offer to buy a drink. I'm like, no, or I'll usually take a soda water or something. And like, well, why aren't you drinking?
You know what? That's true.
It's the only drug that you have to defend yourself that you don't take. And let's make no mistake, it's a drug.
Right.
For a lot of people, it's an addictive drug. No real good benefits from it. But wow. So Oakland A's were completely unaware of his sobriety.
Now think about that. That wasn't just an intern that came up with this gift. That had to be somewhere up at the high level. So that just goes to show you that all walks of life can be unaware of things.
1,000%. Wasn't there someone else on the West Coast that had a big alcohol? He was with the Rangers, maybe Anaheim. Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton had a drug and alcohol problem, which
Big
actually
time.
started here in Florida.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, when he was coming up, I believe he was in Bradenton, and he was hanging around a tattoo parlor and started getting into heroin and had major addiction problems. And then he was a great story. He came back, won the home run derby at the All-Star game, and really was on the right path. And I'm not even sure where he's at right now. Hopefully he's doing well.
Yeah, I saw a story once when he was on the wagon and he fell off because he caught like a third out in an inning and went to throw it into the stands and like somebody leaned over and I don't know if they ended up falling trying to catch the ball or something. And he kind of like, he wore that. And I think that might have caused him to I'm not 100%, but I'm almost certain that's the story that kind of made him derail one of the times, to stay on the wagon. But Oakland A's, that's not good. And that's going to conclude this episode of Trade Talks.
Make sure you follow us on YouTube, like, and subscribe at Glass Guy.
Glass Guy. Yay!